Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Fire Emblem Discussion. Today I'm joined by another guest, as is becoming a regular thing here on the channel. But this guy's actually really cool. He reached out to me not too long ago and we did a video together on his channel. So I thought, man, we should have him here today for an important discussion about for a discussion about Fire Emblem and Super Smash Brothers, which is kind of his wheelhouse. But would you mind introducing yourself, Mr. Guest?
Hello guys, I'm FS Smash. My channel is based around doing mission animating in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, using film editor and creating mini movies. But as of recently, I've been doing Fire Emblem Three Houses content, and I've really discussing anything about Fire Emblem Three Houses up until release. I used to do a lot of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate content, as I mentioned prior, but now I'm more into Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I really enjoyed the series as a whole. I've never really made that prominent in my other content in Smash Ultimate, but as of now, I'm really delving my feet into other things that I enjoy personally, as YouTube is based around that. So that's kind of my content and what I do for my channel.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, Mr. Smash.
No problem. I'm glad to be here.
Definitely. All right, again, thank you so much for joining. But let's get into today's topic. And again, this is exactly why we're having FS Smash on today. It's because our whole discussion is going to be based around Fire Emblem and its representation in Super Smash Brothers, and how the Smash community sees Fire Emblem, and how that could potentially hurt Fire Emblem as a whole, as a series, and keep people from playing it overall. But first, before we get into this discussion, I want to ask you, Mr. Smash, how long have you been playing Fire Emblem and Super Smash Brothers? Like, what's your experience with those two different franchises?
Let's start off with Fire Emblem. My first taste of Fire Emblem was back around when Sacred Stones were released. Back when I actually dug up a Nintendo Game Boy Advance SP with a cartridge of Sacred Stones in a taxi, funny enough. I didn't report it in or hand it in because I was a bit of a greedy child. So with that overall, I did manage to play Fire Emblem Sacred Stones. And it was my first taste of Fire Emblem, but I didn't really understand how the fundamentals worked, and my kid brain was like, cool, I saw a dragon, I had fun, like I had mirror and stuff, and that was cool. But down the line, I actually lost the SP myself. So not until I got a 3DS, I really got into Fire Emblem again with Fire Emblem Awakening, and I've been watching a lot of playthroughs through that. And so Awakening was ultimately my re-entry of Fire Emblem. So with that, once I beaten the game, I went back to play Fire Emblem 7, and I went to play Fire Emblem 8 again on ROM emulators, as I couldn't really get the game anywhere else, cheaply that is, or I was just lazy to get it myself. And then ultimately I backtracked, played some of those games, and then I went and played Fates, Birthright, and Conquest. And then as my last game I played was Shadows of Valentia. That remains as one of my more favorited modern FE game, and for GBA era, that would be still Sacred Stones, even though I haven't completed the game. I only went up to late-ish game until I just stopped for some unknown reason. And with Smash Ultimate, I've been playing Smash Melee on the Nintendo GameCube. Never really liked that. Got into Brawl a lot, saw a lot of machine animating, and once Smash Ultimate was released, I played like hell. And I actually was talking about Smash Ultimate a lot before the release of Smash Ultimate, so kind of doing the same thing with Fire Emblem Houses. And so with that in mind, that's my whole entry into Smash series and Fire Emblem as a whole.
All right, thank you so much for sharing. Got a pretty rich history with both series, and that's really cool, man. It's really cool.
Thanks. Sorry for going so lengthy into it.
Oh, no, you're the guest. That's the point. And again, you guys probably know my Fire Emblem history up to this point. I've played every game in the series, so that's my opinion is formed around everything. But you probably don't know my Super Smash Brothers background. Super Smash Brothers was my favorite game growing up for the Nintendo 64. I remember we used to rent it from this little video game rental store at our local like grocery store. It was called Smith's.
That's cool.
And there was just this little dinky thing, but we rented it so many times that eventually my parents wised up and said, maybe we should just buy it.
Yeah.
So I think they saved a little bit of money that way, and they bought it, and I've loved Smash ever since. So love Super Smash Brothers. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get down to brass tacks, Mr. Smash. And let's talk about the different characters from Fire Emblem and really just talk about how they're represented in the game. Like, do we think it's faithful? Do you think their design is well done and compares well to their like in-game art and in-game sprites and whatnot, or 3D character models? And I don't know, like, and just your general thoughts on them. So I don't know, do you want to just go character by character, or do you want to just kind of give your general thoughts, or how would you like to handle this?
I think we should go through with character to character. I think that we can get more of a thing going with that more than anything. So
all right, let's go chronological, as in chronological in Smash order then.
Naturally,
as they first came out. So let's start with Marth.
Marth as a whole, I think his first appearance in Melee was quite interesting. It brought a not well known series into the West fairly well, I'd say, and that could be the same for Fates. Oh, sorry, I'm messing up here. My apologies. I think Marth's entry into Melee made the game well known. Fire Emblem as a whole, it wasn't really well known in the West, but it did. I think it did cause a lot of confusion. I believe back when Fire Emblem 7 was dropped, as many people were most likely scratching their heads, wondering why Marth and Roy weren't exactly in that game. And I'm sure it still helped with making Fire Emblem recognizable in the West more than anything.
Oh yeah, it was. Why is Marth using an axe, and why is Roy called Ellawood? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. You have any other thoughts on Marth?
I think Marth's movesets are pretty standard and pretty good. They relate to what he does in the game. Just swings his sword around, really not really. He still has his falchion, which is cool, and it still has the signature design from his first few games. And I think Marth looks pretty good, even though he had a large redesign from his actual initial all the way into Melee. I just still think he looks good, and up to now, Melee looked good. Smash Brawl made him look good. Up until Ultimate, I think his redesign was the best iteration of Marth we've gotten, and I think he looks better compared to what we got in other Smash games. And as a whole, as a character, especially I guess in Heroes and Warriors, I never really was a fan of his droopy hair. I think that this spiky hair made him look more modern, I'd say. I guess his modern redesign was what I think is the best appeal for Marth as of now to play him. And I think that's caused a lot of people to try and play the Fire Emblem series games as a whole.
Yep. Marth, like, his design in Melee totally influenced all future designs of Marth's character. Whether it's Shadow Dragon, New Mystery of the Emblem, they've always kind of gone off of what Smash did. So I know that Melee really replicated FE3's design of Marth, or tried to, but they did modernize it, like you said. But now Brawley took another step further. I think he looks kind of ugly in Smash 4, not gonna lie.
I guess the general art style wasn't the best looking back, but I think he still looked okay for what he was.
In Ultimate, he looks great. Like, Ultimate's the best he's ever looked. Like, I don't know. I feel like they got the hair right. They got the face right. It just looks really good. I really appreciate it. All the different colors he has are kind of whatever. I mean, the white is obviously a nod to
his first design with no pads.
Yeah,
no pads.
Yeah, that, and it's also like the wedding. Like when he gets married to Sita.
I did not know that. Yeah, I guess more Marth is somewhat a character you would know better than me, since I'm more of a modern fan rather than someone who's played mostly. Yeah, I've mostly played modern FE. So
no problem. But yeah, and then other than that, it's like red, green, blue, other different colors of blue, some purple and stuff. I don't know. I feel like they could have done more with his costume designs, but whatever. I mean, I think he's well represented. I think and we talked about his moveset a little bit, but like little things like the shield breaker, he pokes him.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like the critical from it.
Yeah, it's like the rapier too. Like the rapier, when he uses the rapier in FE3, he pokes him. It changes his animation to a poke.
Oh, literally a poke.
And it's effective against armored units, so therefore it breaks shields. Like, it's just kind of. I mean, it's a novel thing. It's a simple, nice touch to his character in Smash.
Yeah, it's also a staple with most falchion wielders. Funny enough, in Smash, mostly in Smash, yeah.
Yeah, both him and Lucena both do that. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And she can also use the rapier, which also breaks shields. So it's cool. It's all just really smart and well done. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, ready to move on?
Yeah, let's.
Roy.
Oh boy,
our boy.
Roy's our boy. With Roy, he kind of had the same thing with Marth. I'd say. I think in terms of just how he was represented in such a weird way because he himself did not have a Western release. His game was purely in Japanese and did not make its way to Western fans. And those who actually wanted to try out Roy's game, Fire Emblem 6, were sorely disappointed as back then we didn't have English translation. So Roy would fade into obscurity a bit. I found, even though he was popular back in Melee, not for competitive reasons, but just in general, people thought like, oh, this cool sword characters who speak Japanese, that's so cool. And only until not Awakening per se, until Smash 4, he made his rendition back, and I feel like he took a lot of influence with Marth's design, with the plate armor, especially the way it's designed. And I feel like Roy's redesign really capitalized on the refreshment of Fire Emblem 6, and it finally brought in, I guess, bringing him back from an old game and bringing him back, it made a lot of fans remember about Fire Emblem as a whole and how he was back in Melee. So having him back was cool and all, and his moveset was pretty cool. People thought, at least in the trailers. Roy maybe has faded into obscurity because in Awakening he was a DLC character, but the way he was designed, many people thought he looked weird wearing the Fire Emblem Awakening mercenary design. But as of now, I think Roy in Ultimate has really been set in stone as his moveset and the general universal buffs that all characters have received. Roy has been the one that benefited a lot from it, so it's really gotten Roy's popularity used in competitive Smash to a high end. But ultimately, I still think his game in Fire Emblem 6 kind of got the dust in terms of just how Roy had influenced. His appearance in Smash has influenced his game, but it has helped Fire Emblem overall. Yeah, I'm not denouncing that, definitely.
Oh, it definitely has helped Fire Emblem overall by leaps and bounds. Without Marth and Roy, their Fire Emblem may have never come to the West, or may have just faded into obscurity, into the annals of Nintendo history, and never been that important. Funny thing, I think it's relatively well known, and I mean probably really well known, but Roy's game, Binding Blade, wasn't even released before Smash. It was released after Smash. It's super crazy to me that Sakurai or whoever pushed for it was just like, we gotta have him in there to promote the next game. And it started this trend of characters being introduced, Fire Emblem characters being introduced to Smash to advertise the upcoming Fire Emblem game.
Advertise it, it's a bit of a crazy thing, considering that it was purely a Japanese exclusive game, so not many people would know Roy unless they literally played Fire Emblem 7 till the end. Oh no, spoiler alert, Eliwood has Roy.
Yeah. Spoiler.
But yeah, people...
Go ahead.
But spoiler alert, Eliwood has Roy, and people who did not play Fire Emblem 7 would not know this at all, and would not know that Fire Emblem 7 was, oh my god, I'm gonna get my sequel and prequel things wrong, but Fire Emblem 6 was the sequel, and Fire Emblem 7, prequel, sorry.
No, sequel.
No, no, no. But yeah, I feel like Roy, up until Ultimate, he did not have his own kind of thing going on, but now because he's so good in Smash Ultimate that now I think he's finally solidified as a Fire, not as Fire Emblem, I'm sorry, as, just to help the fan base, just another rep for Fire Emblem, and a good rep nonetheless.
Yeah, on the Japan side of things, they love Roy to death. They think he's for whatever reason, like him and like Tiki or whatever, super popular in Japan. But as far as design goes, Roy in Binding Blade, he's 15. He's a kid. But
in Ultimate,
he's the manliest sounding character in the game.
Oh, cue freaking Roy's Death Star KO. It's something. Oh boy.
It's that scream is gut wrenching.
Yep.
Manly. It's honestly kind of cool. It was fun that they aged up the character, but I hope that if we get a remake of FE6, that it won't be that Roy, and we'll get more traditional young Roy, because that is kind of his whole character. Is I'm young, and but I'm still a strategical genius leading this army.
Yeah, he's he still managed at the age of 15, like most, like similar to Marth, leading an entire army and actually liberating the continent as a whole. And that's what he did with Arturia and stuff. So that was cool.
Definitely. All right, should we move on?
Yeah, let's
go to Ike, who debuted in Super Smash Bros. Brawl and essentially replaced Roy as another Fire Emblem rep.
That might cause some upset, but with Ike, I feel like they were trying to pull another, not really another Marth and Roy per se, but they were trying to make sure, I feel like they're trying to advertise the Tellius games, Radiant Dawn, I believe, or Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. I might be completely wrong on this. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
Ike was... But yeah, with Ike as a whole, I think he really made the difference between how Fire Emblem characters play in Smash Ultimate with his really unique, broad moveset. It was very not bland per se, but very simple and true to his character. Ike was never meant for flashy moves. He always hit things hard, and that's what I really like about Ike. He played like in his games, his ether, some of his moves using his fist and using such rough movements, kind of like his father. I actually watched a video that talked about how Ike's moveset was, it's very true to what he had in game. But I felt like I got really underplayed, especially because I feel like his game suffered quite badly due to poor field signals. I feel like his introduction to Smash didn't really help with that Tellius, and I feel like it ultimately led to... I mean, sure, it might have been other things that led to the Last Resort, aka Awakening, to be made, and then Fire Emblem being brought back to life, and reviving the game as a whole. But I feel like I kind of failed per se to really hype up people to play new Fire Emblem games. Judging from the sales, I might be completely wrong. So
there's a whole lot behind that. Whether it's poor advertising, the fact that Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn are honestly not the most exciting games in the series. They're honestly kind of slow and lower. Like it's just like a slower pace compared to like the GBA games that were really flashy and had a lot going for them in that respect. But yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from, and I agree with you.
Yeah, I feel like their whole marketing was Ike in Smash. I feel like that was the case.
Yeah, they're like, please play Radiant Dawn. Ike's in that one too.
Yeah.
Definitely. As far as his moveset goes, honestly, I think it's kind of cool that he has Ragdoll, which is dope, and he swings it around all big and tough because he's a big and tough guy. When I first played it, I was frustrated with how slow he was as a character. I understand that's like, it's like if he was just like he was in like Radiant Dawn or in Radiant Dawn, and he was fast, super strong, like kind of heavy with really good defense, like it just wouldn't work as a character in Smash. I understand that. So, like, it's a little heartbreaking to me because like I don't know, Ike at the time when he came out, I was like, oh, I love Ike. Ike was one of my favorite characters in Fire Emblem. He's so cool, and I was ready for him to be like a fast, super buff sword wielding guy with a projectile attack with Ragdoll and stuff, and then I don't know, it's kind of...
Oh, yeah, that would have been amazing.
Yeah, it would have been really dope, right? But they just kind of didn't do that, but I understand why they didn't do that and everything. I don't know, it's a little nitpicky to say, like, he moves slow.
Yeah.
For what I imagined Ike would be.
Yeah, Sakurai's design philosophy is a bit absurd at times, I've got to say. So some of his decisions to make certain characters like how they are, it's a bit baffling at times, but at the same time, I can respect his decision since it's his game, and he wants to make it his way. A lot of people would complain, oh, why does Pit not wield all like different kind of weapons, or why does Bowser not always growls or stuff. It's like things like those, like it's based off how the character wants to show. And I feel like with Fire Emblem reps, they're the most clean characters to make because they're literally just human characters. You can design their weapons to be just like weapons with just regular characters' attacks, but with disjointed attacks and a sword. It doesn't get more simple than that. I feel like, at least for the first few sword characters, I feel like Sakurai definitely branched out with Robin and Corrin as a whole.
Definitely. So let's move into Robin, who I think is definitely the most interesting of the bunch as far as their moveset goes, which is funny because Robin's like the blandest character.
Oh yeah.
As far as story wise in Awakening, which is really funny.
Yeah, that'd be a whole new video on its own talking about how Robin is portrayed in this game.
Oh yeah, that's cool. So yeah, it's this. But yeah, let's go for it. I mean, I'll go first this time if you don't mind. I mean,
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I've been saying way too much, and yeah.
Oh no, of course not. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're talking. It's good. It's good. But I feel like Robin is. I do like that, like the different tomes and that it uses up the weaponry, because that's something that none of the other Fire Emblem characters in Smash do, is illustrate
weapon durability.
Illustrate one of these key points of Fire Emblem, which is weapon durability. It's such a cool little thing that you can't spam your 11 sword or spam your Elfire, because eventually they run out. That's just like such a cool thing. And now in Ultimate they have a little bar that like shows you, which is really nice. I personally love that a lot. I think it's a really nice touch. It's really cool.
Aesthetically pleasing, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then on top of that, like having all of the different thunder attacks that you can charge up into, like, and Robin's like kind of like magic attack that's what they give him in like the opening premonition chapter at the beginning of Awakening is Thoron. So it's kind of cool that that's like his charged up super attack that he can do. I think it's all just really nice touches. I kind of the whole thing where I wish they wouldn't have given him a sword. I understand that's kind of like his character in Awakening. That's the tactician class can use both swords and tomes. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it would have been a nice way to differentiate him from the rest of the Fire Emblem cast in Smash. Just don't give him a sword. Make him purely magic fighting. That could have been a cool thing.
Yeah, that would have been definitely cool if he had he been pure magic and not with the sword. But I also feel like it shows that, notice that most of the Fire Emblem characters do wield legendary weapons, and theoretically these weapons can break, even though they may break, I think.
Yeah, like Roy's Binding Blade.
Binding Blade, yeah.
Break. Yeah. I think that's actually the only one of the group that has a breakable weapon, actually. I think about it. But the Binding Blade can break.
But yeah, with Robin, I can't say much. I feel like, again, it was kind of the same case with Robin and Lucena. I felt like had more sway in Awakening's marketing, since they really pushed Awakening's marketing as a whole, and with the introduction of Robin and Lucena, now a broader amount of people would know where Lucena and Robin are from the Awakening franchise. Awakening franchise. Oh god. Went from the Fire Emblem franchise, and I definitely feel like they helped a lot, especially because Smash 4 was building up to be one of the bigger Smash release titles, so I believe that really helped. And they really helped push the one Awakening into and Fire Emblem as a whole into a better situation than it was a while ago.
Definitely, I agree. So you mentioned Lucena. Let's move into her.
Mm-hmm.
She's. Spoiler alert: if you haven't played Awakening, turn off the sound for 10 seconds. She masquerades as Marth, so it makes sense that her moveset is Marth.
Yeah, that was her whole thing with Awakening, not wanting to reveal her identity. And I feel like this Lucena as a whole caused a huge upset, and kind of caused. And that goes along with Dark Pit as well, but the whole idea of having clone characters be in Smash kind of made people upset, and I feel like that caused one of the triggers as to annoying people about Fire Emblem characters. Is like people made a big deal about how Lucena probably took a rep spot, or she's way too similar to Marth. But I feel like as a whole, Lucena made her own little had a much more different playstyle when it comes to Marth, not relying based on his tipper, and rather having solid potent damage throughout her entire blade. This caused her to feel like a more consistent character, something Roy couldn't really achieve, because again, Roy has his sweet spot in the middle of his blade, while Marth has the tipper. I'm sure you already know this, but as a whole, I feel like Lucena was the middle in between. And since Roy did appear, I feel like you had a really good selection of 3 characters. You can either have a character who, if you're good at spacing with, a character you're really want to rush down with rush down, but also make sure you're always in front of their face. And you can have Lucena, where she can play the middle card. She can be purely playing for spacing, or be really in your face. So I feel like with Lucena, a lot of people give her flack for that, for being a clone character, but in Ultimate, I feel like she again benefited a lot, like Roy, with the whole universal buffs. And I feel Lucena again has really warmed up to people who used to dislike her purely because she was a Marth clone. But it was based on people's not knowing that Lucena was supposed to in the game. She was supposed to be masquerading as Marth. So You know, it's just based off people not knowing the game as a whole.
Yeah, it makes sense to her character that she'd be a clone of Marth, right? And also, I feel like what's helped her a lot in being like a more popular character than say some of the other Fire Emblem characters at this point in Smash is that competitively she's like top tier. She's super good, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah, definitely.
People are like, oh, Lucena, yeah, get rid of everyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she's so good. So yeah, that's a thing.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to Corrin, and then we'll go on to Chrom last. Corrin, Corrin. Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you want me to start off? Sure. You're not too happy with Corrin as a whole. For me, with Corrin, I feel like again, people have constantly referred to most modern Fire Emblem characters being purely used to market the next Fire Emblem game. I don't exactly agree with this because Corrin feels like the most. I feel like he rivals with Robin to be the most unique character. Sure, he might wield another sword, but he has a lot of aspects to his whole gimmick of being a water dragon, using different things like being much of like a lancer, using pinning moves, being much of a character who wants to keep his opponents away with some of his neutral B and his Dragon Fang attacks. And I feel like he's much more floatier. He feels more unique in that sense because he doesn't purely rely on his sword. He has his pin attacks, his projectile. Like one of the only other character who has a projectile is of course Robin. And yeah, with that he has stun elements. Some of his dragon moves are crazy and flashy and cool. I feel like people get
turning into a dragon for you, the counter attack is dope. Yeah,
and then it was really cool with that, and his final smash was cool. It wasn't like most Fire Emblem characters with the whole crit. It was more of a unique scene where he pretty much just sucked up, just put people in a water vortex, which is cool.
Yeah, it's a little weird because that's not from the game at all, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's reminiscent of the characters traveling to Vala through the through the lake, I guess. But you know, it's not from anything. Yeah, if you think about, like, I was just thinking about, like, all of Corrin's smash attacks don't involve his sword at all. Like his aerials and his tilts and stuff. So it's interesting that they even like they could have gotten away with not even giving him a sword, or her a sword, I guess I should say. And it does feel like kind of like a Fire Emblem crutch that he had to have one in the game. He had to have the Yato and whatever else.
The Yato, yep.
Yeah, the stupidest legendary weapon in Fire Emblem. Freaking hate
the ultimate plot device.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like Etika made a huge. Another huge. I know Etika now isn't in the best state, but I feel like Etika's whole reaction with female Corrin being in the game, sparked up the whole waifu thing. Whether I know he wasn't the most biggest contributor since Fates itself was already setting itself up to being kind of like not really fan service game, but just using fan service to bring in fans because of the way some of the characters were designed. But overall, some of the controversies Corrin has sparked up with her transfer into the female version of Corrin into Smash, with the whole removal of thighs and censorship. Fates. I feel like Fire Emblem has a weird thing with censorship, mostly in Fates. It stayed in, thank God. But we don't know about Fire Emblem 3 houses, but yeah. But Corrin was cool addition, and I like that.
Yeah, I liked Corrin in Smash. I thought it was a fun ad. Okay, sorry, we're running. I don't know, we've been recording for a while, so let's.
Yeah, I've noticed. I didn't realize how long this would be. My apologies.
No, it's fine. This is good. It's good. So let's blow through Chrom real quick. So Chrom is a Roy clone. Aside from, he has the same thing that Lucena has going for her, being that his sword doesn't have a sweet or a sour spot. He's just has a really, really strong sword, really strong smash attacks and whatever else. And a lot of people considered him to be the better character at first, right?
Yep, but with Chrom as a whole, since people figured out his whole being able to be gimped so easily because of his recovery, getting Ike's Aether was the best and worst thing that could happen to him, honestly.
Yeah, but pre I can't remember what patch it was, but after a particular patch, they changed it to where if someone got spiked by his Aether,
he would die first.
He would die first. That was the change after the patch. Prior to the patch, everyone was like, "Oh, Chrom's so good because if he catches you off stage, he can just kill you and win." It's like Ganon's side back in the day when Ganon's side killed first.
Yep.
Which was awesome, So but now he's just kind of like, he's good.
But he's definitely fallen behind Roy and Lucena, definitely.
Definitely. But as far as like his moveset goes, I love how he's portrayed. You know, he just like he hits really like in Awakening. When I think of Chrom, I think of, you know, I do think of like nimble but hits hard, which is what Chrom is in Smash.
Yeah, he's the perfect echo fighter of Roy, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, but so let's just finish off with a couple of really quick questions. So, do you think there are too many characters from Fire Emblem and Super Smash Brothers?
No, I definitely do not think there's not that many fire characters in Smash. When you look at it, you look at most of the Nintendo reps, and I instantly think of Mario. Mario reps alone eclipse that of what we have for Fire Emblem. We barely have any music or stages for Fire Emblem when we just compare it to what the Mario reps have. We have so many different characters from the Mario franchise and universe, and definitely I don't think that Awakening. No, sorry, Fire Emblem does not deserve to be called out for saying having too many reps. Definitely, I feel like Mario franchise should be the one to be called out for that. Personally,
I don't know, man. That's a tough argument to make. Like Mario is Nintendo. Like they're synonymous at this point. You know, like ever since Mario 1 came out, he's been the guy in the game, right? Like sure they have more reps, but I think it's deserved. But then you look at like the Legend of Zelda. How many reps do they have? I mean, I guess they have 3 different links, which is kind of interesting. At least they differentiated them more this time than they ever have. But there's 3 different links, and then you got Zelda, Sheik, and Ganon, which I don't know. Actually that might be more. But if you just count Link as one, I don't know. They could have added more characters. I don't know. Give us Tingle, please. Something like that.
Tingle.
Tingle, please.
Yep.
Or Wolf Link would have been dope. I don't know. There's like a lot of different things they could have done. I feel like Fire Emblem, in my opinion, like I'm a huge fan, so in my opinion, I could always take more Fire Emblem characters. I'm biased, but I could see looking from the outside, like outside looking in, be like, oh yeah, there are way too many freaking characters from this franchise that nobody plays. Because there's a lot of people that are like, Fire Emblem, like who the frick cares, man? You know?
Yeah, but any really good Nintendo fan would know if they played at least played one game from most, if not all, the franchises that are in Smash, would know what the character is, what franchise, what representation they have in Smash, and how they play in their game compared to Smash, or knowing what how many characters they have from that game. When you look at Mario, I'm sure Mario's its mainstay, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, they're all mainstays. But when you look at Wario, Donkey Kong, I mean, sure, Donkey Kong has been good as of right now. And again, with K Rule, but also you have other people could just keep pointing out different franchises like, oh, Captain Falcon hasn't had a game in a long time. Why are people still considering, like, why should he be in Smash? But that could be a whole other debate based off how reps are decided, or why people argue about what rep should belong in Smash, and that's a whole other mess. But honestly, anyone who's at least tried Fire Emblem, or at least has knowledge about all the games and most of, if not all the games, characters in Smash would know why a character's there, what reason they have there, and why they would know why Sakurai decided to put them in. Because it's all, again, based off what Sakurai thinks as a whole. But Fire Emblem is sorry, you can go ahead.
I think Fire Emblem as a whole is misunderstood by a lot of fans. And if people would just give it a shot, they'd realize that, you know, there's a reason that all of these characters are in here. They're such, for those who know Fire Emblem, like these characters are all so iconic. I mean, sure, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I want like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a more obscure character that people are stupid and they're like, oh, I want this character in Smash.
Banjo.
Like, yeah, they should put Reinhardt in Smash because everyone loves him. You know, stuff like that. It's just like, man, just like he's not anywhere near as important to the series as the people who are already in Smash. And I know you can make the argument that like Corrin is a stupid character, we don't like him. Robin's a stupid character, we don't like him. But does not change the fact that they're two leading roles in 2 of the most important games in the series as far as, you know, becoming known to the public and stuff. So yeah, there aren't too many characters. Just play some Fire Emblem and learn why they're there.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people just deduce to Fire Emblem as just waifu crap or husband crap or just anime crap. That's the main thing, anime. But people gotta understand that Fire Emblem is more than that. It's about politics. It's about interesting characters, about RNG, about understanding how to play strategy. It's not. It doesn't just boil down to being purely just it's an anime game. Like it's a boring strategy game where you have to think about math all the time. But no, there are interesting characters, interesting plots. Different elements that just make the game fun. It has its romantic stuff that's going on, like just plot stuff, drama. I don't know. I'm speaking a bit more broad, but in general, Fire Emblem as a whole is more than just anime. It's a whole deduction I feel like most people make about it.
Definitely, Fire Emblem is so much more than people realize, and if only they'd play a dang freaking Fire Emblem game, they'd realize it. Okay, super quick, real quick take, like under 10-second take. Will there be a Fire Emblem DLC character announced?
They might push Byleth definitely in E3. I feel like that's a definite chance of them doing that. They already done it with Corrin. They've already done it with Robin and Lucena. If they're going to be doing for Fire Emblem 3 House to be releasing really soon, along with E3 coming in before that, they're definitely going to probably have another character reveal. Maybe maybe more down the line, but we might see Byleth.
I wouldn't bet my life on it, but I would bet a lot on. I'd bet a pretty penny that we're gonna get some Fire Emblem DLC character from Three Houses. I'm crossing my fingers that it's not gonna be Byleth though. I honestly think we're gonna get Edelgard.
Edelgard would be a very interesting choice because she would have to be either competing with the two others, Dimitri and Claude, for placement because she is put mostly along with them. So either the Byleth and the idea of a Pokemon trainer with Byleth being the Pokemon trainer, and then switching out Edelgard with Claude, like they would just run in or jump in, kind of switch instead of having like a Pokeball, they would literally just jump in, kind of like the Pokemon trainer.
That could be so. I'm gonna tell you right now that's not gonna happen, but that would be the hypest of hype things in Smash Ultimate for me. I would main them. I don't care if they're good or bad. That'd be the dopest thing ever. It's not gonna happen. Yeah. Chances are we're just gonna get Byleth, like you said, because whatever.
Well, main protagonist, her. Yeah.
As long, and I wouldn't mind that as long as if they use the chain whip sword and some cool new move set. But otherwise, if they're just like generic sword fighter again, like we already have those, and I'm happy to have them, like Marth, Roy, Lucena, Chrom, like they're great. But I want more. I just want something different. I think everyone else can agree.
Yeah, that's fair.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Mr. FS Smash.
It was fun, man. I'm sorry for taking a long time to get most of our talking done. I guess I don't know.
Stop apologizing. You had some really good takes, and it was really nice to have a new perspective on the channel. If you guys don't know who FS Smash is, he has a YouTube channel. You guys should go check it out. I'll link it in the description. He talks about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but also right now he's really focusing on Fire Emblem Three Houses. So if you're watching this, you probably are into that. So you should go check it out. Again, link is in the description to his channel. Really good work he does. Really well thought out. Good content. And thanks. Again, thanks for coming on, man. If you ever want to come on again, you're welcome. I'll probably invite you in the future if you're down. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to future collabs, man. It was definitely fun talking to you and discussing more about Fire Emblem. And it's always a pleasure to be, within your presence. It was always cool interacting with you.
Thank you so much. And the people know what to do. Like, subscribe for more Fire Emblem discussion, and comment your thoughts, because again, this is this week's discussion topic. How do you think Fire Emblem has been represented in Smash, and how do you think Fire Emblem's representation in Smash has affected the series as a whole going forward since Melee? So let me know your thoughts in the comments, dear fan, or not dear fan. I don't have fans. I have listeners. Dear listener. And again, thank you FS Smash for coming on, and we'll talk to you later.